KCIC has been one of the most impactful organizations in the climate space. The journey so far has had its challenges, but also extreme successes. We are expanding our horizons to support not just Kenya like we've done in the last 12 years, but to support the entire continent. This strategy is going to be anchored on a very sustainable KCIC. It's going to be anchored on an institution with very strong governance, an institution that at first glance can be able to win the trust of its stakeholders. And then it is going to be anchored on very empowered and forward-looking members of staff.
Different times call for different approaches. We have seen what is happening in the global arena, not only in business but also in governments. And I think time has come for the Africans to start thinking, how can we be able to become independent? Not independent, we don't require international partners, but how can we be able to really use what we have to get what we don't have? In terms of our model, we expect that we'll be able to debate a little bit in terms of how we implement our programs moving forward. We don't want to look at KCIC as an entity that is just doing course for applications and just supporting entrepreneurs. As I've said, we want to deviate a little bit and focus on how can we be able to catalyze the ecosystem. How can we work with incubators and accelerators, not only in Kenya but also in other African countries.
KCIC will leverage a number of partnerships, one being bilateral donors that could support some of the programs. We're looking at multilateral donors. We will also looking at partnering with various foundations. We are looking at partnering with the regional bodies, the likes of NEPAD, the African Union. Then at the operational level, we are looking at other climate innovation center, other enterprise support organizations that we can work with. And then at policy level, we are looking at working with both, in Kenya mainly, county governments and national governments. In other countries, we are looking at working with the national government and any regional governments that they could be having.
The African climate investment landscape is currently growing. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of financing that then is coming in to support enterprises. With the 4.0 strategy, we'll strategically position not only KCIC but the climate entrepreneurs that we support to be able to tap into these opportunities holistically, thereby creating impact not only in addressing solutions but creating impact in the communities around which they operate in.
In the changing world that we are in, grant is becoming rare and limited as we grow. And so will be the financing instruments available for SMEs to grow. Through this 10, we are coming up with innovative financial instruments that not only scale the investments and SMEs run by the various entrepreneurs, but also ensure that they are not dependent on grant. Through this 10, we are coming up with various instruments such as resort-based financing, repayable grants, to ensure that as the pool of financing grows thinner, we are able to finance not just the ones within the program, but much more within that are not usually chosen by the various programs as they run for call for application.
The most exciting part of the Strategy 4.0 for me is the opportunity it gives us to now intentionally create programs with the communities at the forefront. They will no longer be just beneficiaries, they will be co-architects of change. Take the thousands of waste pickers who have built their businesses around recyclable collection. So the Strategy 4.0 will be co-creating programs not for the community but with such communities, taking into consideration their pain points that affect their livelihoods.
As we support enterprises and as we also look for opportunities for collaboration nationally, regionally and internationally, and even as we help governments across to put in place policies that will help to grow the sector, we will rely more on data, and so we look at the research component as a big pillar for generating evidence, not only from Kenya but across the region, and also learning from best practices across the world.
I'm very excited about Strategy 4.0 because it has changed how we are doing programming moving forward. The Dream Hub program is the first program that mirrors our Strategy 4.0, and we are implementing this through a hub and spoke model. And the model entails KCIC being a coordinator, and then we onboard various spoke partners to implement specific pillars of the Dream Hub. So we have partners like Rafford, Ecklof helping us implement the access to finance pillar. We have the Kenya National Farmers Federation implementing the community livelihood pillar. We have Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Dairy Training Institute implementing skills development pillar, and other partners in the ecosystem. So you find that working with all these partners, you are able to make sure that the beneficiaries, who are the cooperatives of the farmers group, get every support that they need.
Communication and knowledge management will form a bedrock and a lifeblood, if I can call it that, of KCIC Strategy 4.0. From an institutional capacity point of view, I'm looking at communication enhancing how we do our work at KCIC, both internally in terms of coordination across different departments, across different facets, across the different countries that we will be operating in, and looking at the entire model that this strategy sits on, which is the integrated climate entrepreneurship ecosystem model. I think development communication approach is going to be a big part. We want to hear the voices of the climate entrepreneurs. We want to hear the voices of the development partners, the funders, the donors, the implementers, the ecosystem partners that we are going to be working with. What are their voices? What are their pain points? What's working? What's not working?
Data is the lifeline of any organization. So through monitoring and evaluation, you're able to generate credible, or you are able to generate data that you can use for decision making. So for us is how do you come out with data that can be used to enhance the decision making function of both the management and the board. The second thing is also about evidence. We are looking at climate change that is still evolving, uncertainties that still exist. So you don't want to just have risky sort of programs that do not meet the needs of the clients. So you are looking at how do you use that data to inform your programming cycles. The last one is also accountability. Remember, we are funded by donors and other development partners. We want to have some sort of a framework or mechanism that at the end of the day deliver value for money and also meet the expectation and the interests of the people that have partnered with you.
So when we were envisioning the strategy 4.0, we also thought like we wanted to have a lean machine, but a lean machine that has a very high performing culture. And that means we definitely need to have staff members who are very engaged, motivated, and are satisfied with what they are doing. So that basically means our work environment and the environment that we provide our staff is supposed to be an environment that motivates our staff, that engages our staff, that makes our staff become more resilient and own what they want to do, considering one of our core values is innovation. We want staff to own that. so that when they are doing, they know, they take the ownership of what they are doing, they're responsible, they're engaged, they know they're here to deliver the final strategy. And I think one of those, the key pillars, as you have said, organizational capacity development, is just a mechanism to enable the staff to use it to ensure that we deliver our mission and vision at the end of the day.
I got to know about KCIC at a time when we were looking at modeling some of our operations to climate awareness. KCIC offered us results-based financing, a good loan at a good rate, good timelines to pay back. They actually settled the cost of our equipment that built our capacity tenfold. So we moved from 30 kilos a day to 300 kilos a day.
The Kenya Climate Innovation Center, we came to know about them just when we had made our prototype, okay? And that was in 2021. We actually made 5 different versions of our concrete beehives to try and capture the behavior. Now, this was not possible with our own funds because it was an expensive experiment, if I may say so. But with the KCIC funds, we were able to experiment to the level of having 5 different versions of our innovation until we settled on one now that is capturing the behavior of all the bees. They are also helping us with the Kenya Bureau of Standards certification, KEP certification, because as I told you, we have gone beyond honey, we have gone beyond the beehive, we are in the value-added chain where we are making soaps, we are making lotions, we are making body creams, we are making lip balms, we are making candles.
We are a local manufacturer of dairy equipment. Some of the equipment that we make are from transportation tanks to cooling units to value addition, that is both heating and cooling, and also processing of butter, cheese, or any other dairy value-add product. Right now, I believe we are better placed as compared to where we were before we started this program with KCIC. We have not only improved in terms of volumes of sale, but even the brand trust. I believe we are a happy partner to KCIC.
For me, KCIC has been the best experience I've had as an SME. If KCIC has hadn't supported me since I met them, we wouldn't be existing as PGL, yeah? That's what I say, and that's what I tell everyone out there, because KCIC, number one, is the only financial institution, apart from bootstrapping from friends, that have supported us as an institution through the SWIFT program, yeah? KCIC has done things like branding. The branding you're seeing here, it's courtesy of KCIC. They've given us so much technical support, and KCIC, it's one of the people that have seen potential in our business, and every time we think of KCIC, it gives us encouragement to keep doing what we are doing.
The biggest achievement from this strategy will be seeing that we have actually managed to go across other African regions, and we have supported clients or enterprises.
After the 5 years of implementation of this strategy, our target is to resource mobilize 4.5 billion Kenya shillings. By happiness, we will see if we can be able to achieve or surpass the target.
What I'll be most proud of is the interconnected support we will have offered not only to the entrepreneur but to the broader ecosystem. So the entrepreneurs will be happy, and the stakeholders in the ecosystem we work in will also be happy.
I would be very proud after the 5-year strategy period to have supported a minimum of 8,000 entrepreneurs scale their enterprises from the revenues they joined the program at to where they would have reached then. And most importantly is to ensure that then KCIC can be able to turn over what they're able to do and to have a revolving fund of about $100 million by end of 5 years. The moment we are able to fundraise around $100 million to this fund, you can imagine the kind of that effect that fund will have, not only to the entrepreneurs and the communities and the ecosystem that you are supporting, but also much more important in terms of the sustainability effort of KCIC.
At the end of Strategy 4.0, I'm looking forward to a lot of community livelihood impact. I'm really excited to see how we transform the lives of people, especially underserved communities.
So we want to be an organization that contributes, number one, to creation of jobs. That is across the socio-economic parameters. Jobs help communities to thrive. The second thing is also address the emerging climate challenges. So at the end of the day, I want to see how much our intervention and our support have helped to reduce CO2 or greenhouse emissions. Number three, we also want to see that the populations and the different audiences that we are targeting with our program have increased awareness, have increased access to information that will make them make decisions that champion and also contribute to climate change agenda across Kenya and even beyond Kenya. For me, that is how I will be able to say we have succeeded in our strategy.
If we can see an ecosystem working together, creating efficiencies, that will be the best outcome of this strategy.